Welcome back, my friends, to another video here on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about some more Xbox Series X. If you guys missed it, the brand new Xbox Scarlet, which is now called the Xbox Series X, was announced yesterday during the Game Awards, and we talked a little bit about it, but we actually got a little bit more information for those of you guys who may have not heard yet. Microsoft rather, has shared a little bit more information regarding this new console. The one thing I'm going to say right off the top before we jump into some of this information is that I'm kind of surprised with the name, because the name is going to be very, very confusing. There's Xbox One X, and now there's Xbox Series X. And I think that's a very, very confusing marketing, especially for parents that maybe, or grandparents that maybe are not as tech savvy, that are maybe like looking to buy console for someone else, like their kids or their grandkids or whatever. It's gonna be a little bit confusing, kind of like Nintendo did with the new 3DS. You know, they had like the 3DS and then the new 3DS and then the 3DS XL and or the new 3DS XL rather. And then there's just really confusing. So Xbox is kind of pulling a Nintendo on this one. But that said, the look of the console has been a little bit controversial. Let me know if you guys like it or not. I think it looks cool. I mean, it's kind of a rectangular kind of box, if you will, but I think it's unique. And you got to think, with all the power that's inside this thing, you know, they need to have something that's looks a little bit more like a PC tower. Because let's be honest, at this point, you need that kind of space inside of a console to really have proper airflow and all that stuff. So it's definitely, I think, important. I'm betting that, you know, PS5 is probably going to be a little bit bulkier as well. I'd be very surprised if it's not. If they manage to make it more slim, that'd be very, very surprising. Because again, you know, you don't want to have any overheating issues. I'd rather have a bigger console. Which leads me to the first point, which is probably the least point to make. But this console can actually be stood up the way you guys see it. Or it can be laid down on its side, which is kind of weird because normally the Xbox logo would be if it's like on its side, but I guess the main way that they want you to kind of lay it or set it up is standing up the way you see it, because the Xbox logo is straight in that way. But you could lay it down if you want, which is cool. So a couple more details. The Xbox One controllers will work on the new console. As previously, mentioned in the past year or two, Phil Spencer has kept saying that they want, they don't want people to have to rebuy, all these peripherals and things like that. So I'm assuming a lot of the accessories for Xbox One are going to work with the Xbox Series X. So the controller will work, and the Xbox Series X controller will also work on Xbox One. So they're pretty much, one and the same. It's going to be quieter than the Xbox One X. So the Xbox One X is already very, very quiet, but it's going to be quieter apparently than that console. It will be backwards compatible, which is great because they've spent so much time making the Xbox One backwards compatible that it'd be kind of silly if the Xbox Series X wasn't. So it will be backwards compatible. Again, Phil Spencer talked recently in the past about potentially kind of blurring the line a little bit more between console generations, which I think they're doing that in the sense of, peripherals and accessories kind of working across these consoles. I'm kind of curious to see if, like, I'm assuming you're going to be able to party chat across consoles as well, because, you can already do that with Windows 10 to Xbox One. So I'm sure that Xbox Series X, you're going to be able to chat with friends that are on Xbox One or Windows 10 or whatever. So, in a party chat. So that should be cool. Again, we don't have any solid information regarding that right now, but again, Phil Spencer kind of touched on that a little bit recently at E3, I think 2019, if I remember correctly. So hopefully we'll get more information about all that sooner than later. But the other really cool thing that I mentioned in the last video, if you guys missed it, was that you can pause and resume multiple games at the same time. So you can have multiple games running at the same time simultaneously, which is very, very cool. So I guess you can bounce quickly between two different games, which I don't know. Like, I guess there's some people that like to be able to do that, but I guess I don't know if it's going to work with multiplayer games. Like, let's say you're playing a multiplayer game and, I don't know, hypothetically in between loading times, maybe you go jump to your story-based game. But then again, how are you going to know that your next multiplayer game is ready to go? I don't know. So that is going to be an option, though. So, if you want to quickly bounce between a couple games, apparently everything's going to be a lot faster, really, really fast loading times. They have a new SSD that they have made to make it everything super, super quick. And SSDs are already super, super fast to begin with. So apparently this new SSD technology is going to be even faster. So pretty crazy stuff. Thought I'd share this new information with you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new, and let me know if you guys are excited for Xbox Series X and for everything else gaming. Keep it locked here on the channel. Catch you guys very soon, another one, and until then, game on.